What's crack-lackin'? It's your boy, Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So today we're talking AFC West. We're talking the Denver Broncos. Can Joe Flacco make this team any good? I mean, he's a quality starter, but what can he do for this team? But before that, go ahead, give me a subscribe, and if you enjoy the video, thumbs up. Thumbs up helps a ton. Don't forget to do that. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at this offense, and it starts with Joe Flacco. We know that Drew Lock, he's there. He's gonna be the heir apparent there. So can Flacco basically make this team win this year? Because they brought him in just so they could kind of nurture, I don't know, just so they could give Drew Lock some time to develop, which is good. I'm glad that they did that. And he's working behind what looks to be should be a decent offensive line. Garrett Bowles, he played pretty well there on the left. Jawan James, very overpaid, by the way. I know, I'm a Dolphins fan. Played for us. He's an okay starter. He's an average starter. Ronald Leary, I think his best days are behind him, but he is still a quality starter. Connor McGovern, he's coming in there. Basically, he played pretty well last year with Matt Paradis. He went down with an injury. Now he's with the Panthers. So he came in there. He played fairly well. Dalton Reisner, I like this guy because you could also kick him to the outside. He could play anywhere on that line. He has a lot of experience playing wherever on that line. I don't know why I still got these headphones. But behind these guys, you don't have much depth. Chaz Green, who was a Dallas, basically they let that guy go. They didn't see nothing in him. So you don't have much behind these guys as far as depth. But this is, if healthy, a quality starting line. Now, they took Noah Fant in the first round. Excellent pick. But they do have some depth behind Noah Fant at tight end. You got Jake Butt if he could stay healthy. Jeff Herman, and he was a quality starter last year. So tight end, you're looking good. Receiver, Cortland Sutton, can he now take that next step? He played a little bit last year. Will he be able to take that next step and play as a number one? Because he'll be playing next to Emmanuel Sanders. If he could come back healthy, he is a very reliable target. Probably, very likely his last season there in Denver. But again, a reliable target for Flacco. Probably be Flacco's favorite target. Deshaun Hamilton will probably be playing in the slot. He's a burner. He's a speedster. He's coming in. I think this is his second year as well. So I want to see more from him. But behind these guys, there's not much. There's not much behind these guys. Yeah. Just taking a look there. There's close to nothing. I mean, you got Tim Patrick, who's probably better not on the team. But there's not much. Phillip Lindsay coming in, played very well last year. Didn't play so much better down the stretch, but with Royce Freeman coming back healthy, I think that'll help. Those two are a very dynamic duo. Devontae Booker's still there, but let's be honest, Devontae Booker, he's looking good in training camp, but I mean, who cares? It doesn't show up on the field. But so you got some depth there. So the offense honestly doesn't look that bad. It looks pretty good. This team should be in contention. They should be competitive for a majority of the year. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Bronco defense, because you got Von Miller, you got Bradley Chubb, you got an insane pass rushing duo. But behind those guys, not much. Justin Hollins, rookie out of Oregon, basically is your only depth there. Up there in the middle, Josie Joel played very, very well. Todd Davis is a reliable starter. But again, there's not much depth behind these guys. Now, on the defensive line, you got a plethora of players that you can rotate in and out. They drafted Dramont Jones, who is he's a baller. He's going to be a pass rush specialist on that D-line. Big body. Looked really good coming out of Ohio State. Good pickup there. Derek Wolf's a reliable starter there on the line. Behind these guys, you got Shelby Harris, another reliable guy. Adam Godis, get out of here. He's got a lot of upside, but just can't stay out of trouble. I don't expect him to be on the roster much longer. Zach Kerr, not half bad. So the defensive line has some depth. And honestly, I don't know if Chris Harris will be on the team come the season opener. But I think if anything, this is his last season with the team. He grades extremely well, both on the outside and in the slot. But I think y'all brought in Bryce Callahan, so Harris can play on the outside. Isaac Yadam, second year, so we'll see what he can do. He played all right, pedestrian even parts of last year, so we'll see. I think that yeah, second year. Okay, good. Thought so. But behind these guys, there's not much of anything. That's the thing with this team. There's not a lot of depth. They brought in Kareem Jackson. Honestly, I think they could put him wherever, whether it's free safety or on the outside at corner. For this scenario, I put him in at free safety over William Parks. But honestly, either or. Justin Simmons has been pretty reliable there in the box. Behind those guys, you do have a little bit of depth. Not really. Let's be honest. I mean, you got William Parks, and that's about it. You got Cravens, who you picked up guy came out of retirement to come play, but I don't think his heart's not in it. I mean, he's got a great skill set, but let's be honest. The defense, honestly, I think the secondary could be a big liability. I like the additions of Callahan, but outside of that, I mean, Chris Harris, I don't think Chris Harris cares to play there anymore. I mean, he's very valuable. I don't see him being here. I just don't see him be here. I think next year the secondary is going to be addressed heavily in next off season. But with that being said, let's take a look at the schedule, because you start the game against a very questionable Raiders team. I don't know what to expect from these Raiders. Then you got Bears and the Packers. Those are two tough games. I mean, you play in a very tough division. Again, I don't know what Raiders team we're going to see this year, because this Raiders team could be very good. But you got to face the Chiefs and the Chargers. That's not good. That's not good. You got Packers. As far as your non-division games, Packers, Titans, Vikings, Browns, Colts. I mean, honestly, the winnable games I see would be those two against the Raiders, the Lions. You got one against the Bills. And I don't know. Again, we don't know what Jacksonville's going to look like with Nick Foles behind there. So, honestly, I think those are really the only winnable games. This is going to be a tough year for Broncos fans, but it'll be a necessary rebuild, because I think this time next year, hopefully Drew Lock is ready, and y'all have a plethora of picks on day 1 and day 2 to address problem areas, problem positions. So have some solace. Your team will be competitive next year. Broncos, your team will be competitive. But that's it for the video. Again, YouTube stuff, it's much obliged. This channel, it's steadily growing, and all that is much appreciated. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.